Okay, so get this. We're diving into the whole copywriting thing today, but really getting our hands dirty.
Yeah, it's not just, defining words. We're trying to get to the bottom of how to actually use them.
Totally. And we've got all this cool stuff to work with, like a whole glossary of, those insider terms, articles about people who are killing it, freelancing, even talks with some really experienced copywriters.
It's like we're trying to crack the code on how to make words sell, right?
Absolutely. So, are you ready to make your words work for you?
100%. And speaking of words that work, I'm kind of obsessed with how copywriters are all about the USP.
The unique selling proposition, right? That's like
Yeah.
what makes your thing stand out.
Yeah, like think about a company like Apple. It's not just about looking sleek. It's about feeling creative when you use their stuff. Or even Dollar Shave Club, right? They made razors cool by being funny and cheap.
Such good examples. So how do we make our thing stand out like that?
It's got to be deeper than just what the product does. It's about what your customer wants, like their dreams, or their sense of humor even.
So you got to find that sweet spot, right? Where what you offer and what they want meet.
Exactly.
Speaking of wanting things, this next source, 5 writing projects that pay $1,000 or more and can be completed in just one weekend. Like, hello, sign me up. Imagine getting paid that much for just a weekend of writing.
It's definitely tempting, and they highlight people who actually built careers from this. What I found really interesting is they stress finding a niche. Become the expert on something.
So instead of being okay at a bunch of things, be awesome at one.
Exactly. Clients will pay more for someone who really gets their specific thing.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your niche, but how do you write copy that actually works? They keep mentioning this AWAI Method thing.
Yeah, it's like their framework. One big thing they talk about is features versus benefits.
Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Not really. A feature is just what the product does. A benefit tells the customer what's in it for them. Like instead of, this vacuum has HEPA filters, you'd say, breathe easy knowing this vacuum removes allergens so your family is healthier.
Oh, I see. You're making it personal about their life.
Right. And another thing AWAI talks about is using emotions. They actually list 37 different emotions copywriters can use.
37, that's a lot of feelings.
Yeah, it shows you got to go beyond just logic. Connect with people on a deeper level. Like, remember that retirement newsletter? They didn't just list facts. They talked about freedom and starting a new chapter.
Totally. It's like selling a feeling, not just a product.
Exactly. And that's what good copywriting's all about. It's kind of like you need someone to conduct all those emotions. Right. And AWAI has this thing called the golden thread.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What is the golden thread? Do we weave it into the words or something?
I like that, weave. It's kind of like that. It's the main theme, the feeling you want the reader to have the whole time they're reading.
So it's not just listing good things. It's like connecting them to a bigger story.
You got it.
Yeah.
That retirement newsletter, right? It wasn't just about moving overseas. It was about the freedom you feel when you start a new chapter.
So they're not buying a product. They're buying a whole new life.
Right. And AWAI actually gives you exercises for this, like figuring out what emotions your customer really wants to feel.
So you can speak their language.
Exactly. Oh, and then there's this thing, the Achilles heel. That sounds kind of intense, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Are we talking about taking advantage of people?
No, not at all. It's about understanding their worries. Every customer has them, and your product solves them.
So you're not ignoring the bad stuff. You're saying, hey, we get it and we can help.
Exactly. Think about something like life insurance. The fear is what happens to your family if something happens to you, right? Good copy would say, we know that's scary, but we can help protect them.
Okay, so you're being upfront, but also offering a solution.
Exactly. AWAI's big thing is doing this ethically, though. You're not trying to scare people. You're providing real comfort.
That makes sense. So we've talked a lot about the AWAI method, but we also have these 2 copywriters, Nick and Rebecca, talking in the universal writing market you need to know. What's their take?
Their conversation is full of great advice, honestly. One thing I love is they're all about the customer journey.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's like, think about the steps a customer takes, from when they first hear about your product to when they buy it and then keep coming back. Copywriting has to be different at each step.
So you can't just write one thing and expect it to work for everyone at any point.
Right. They break it down into awareness, consideration, decision, and retention. 4 stages.
Okay, tell me more about each stage.
So, with awareness, you got to grab their attention, catchy headline, interesting question, that kind of thing. Then consideration is where they start comparing you to other options. So you got to give them details, tell them why you're the best.
So building your case.
Yes. Decision time, they're almost ready to buy, but maybe need a little push. So you offer a limited time thing, make it easy to say yes. And even after they buy, there's retention.
Keeping them hooked.
Exactly. Give them valuable content, special deals, make them feel special.
So if you get this whole customer journey thing, your copywriting gets way more strategic.
100%. You're meeting the customer where they're at, not where you want them to be.
Makes total sense. I really liked how Nick and Rebecca talked about all the different types of copywriting jobs out there now. Like, it's not just websites, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. They talked about blog posts, those long articles that get people thinking, even sales pages, the ones that turn website visitors into customers.
It's a whole world of writing online.
It really is. And the best part is you can choose what you like. Love writing emails. Do that. Social media is your thing. Go for it.
It's like a buffet of writing options.
Right. And they had tips on finding those jobs, too. Networking, those online job boards, even just emailing companies directly.
Oh, and they were big on building your online brand, too.
Yeah,
Like as a copywriter, right?
definitely. Show off what you're good at, build that credibility, become the expert.
How do you even do that, though? Build a whole brand.
They recommend making a website to showcase your work. Write blog posts, get active on social media.
So you create your own little corner of the internet to attract the right clients.
Exactly. When you show off your expertise, you attract better clients and get paid more. It's a win-win.
You're building a whole empire, basically.
Totally. And speaking of which, I love how Nick talks about needing to understand like basic marketing, even if you just want to write.
Yeah, it's not like copywriting happens in a bubble.
Exactly. It works best when it's part of a bigger plan. Like knowing your audience is huge for both.
Oh, right. We keep coming back to that. But how do you figure that out in real life? Like, how do you use it?
Well, they talked about making these things called customer personas, which is basically like a profile of your perfect customer. You know, their age, what they like, what they worry about even.
So instead of writing for, like, everyone, you're writing for this one person you've really thought about.
Exactly. Your copy's going to be way stronger because you know what this person wants.
Makes it more like a real conversation.
Totally. And another marketing thing is having a strong value proposition.
That's what makes you different, right?
Yeah. It's about saying clearly why someone should choose you instead of someone else.
It can't be hidden, like, way at the bottom of the page, right?
No way. It's got to be center stage.
It's like the main event of your copy. Okay, so we've got the customer, the value, anything else we can add in?
Nick and Rebecca talked about knowing the different marketing channels, too.
Oh, right, just meaning, like, all the ways you reach people, social media, email, all that.
Exactly. And what's cool is they talked about how your writing changes depending on where it is. Like a tweet is way different from a blog post, right?
You got to match the vibe of the place.
Yep. One other thing that stood out to me was them saying how important it is to never stop learning.
Because this whole online world is changing so fast.
Right. They said you got to be curious, try new things, get out of your comfort zone and all that.
It's almost like challenges are good because they make you better.
That's a good way to put it. Now, they weren't afraid to say that freelance copywriting is tough, too. You know, lots of competition, ups and downs.
It's not always easy, for sure.
Definitely not. But what I liked is they gave real advice on handling that, like how to manage your time, how to deal with difficult clients, all that practical stuff.
So you feel more prepared, even if it gets tough.
Totally. And they said, yeah, you got to be talented and work hard, but networking, being good to work with, that matters just as much.
So you're building a business, not just doing one job here and there.
For sure. And something they kept coming back to was finding your niche.
Didn't we already talk about that?
Yeah, but it's really important. It's about being the expert, the go-to writer for a certain thing. So instead of competing with everyone, you're the best at what you do.
So you can charge more and the right clients find you.
Exactly. It's like you're not just selling writing, you're selling knowledge. And they had some awesome examples of copywriters making bank because they niched down, like writing just for healthcare or finance, even pet stuff.
Wow, so many options.
Right. And then there's Nick's Digital Copywriter's Handbook. It sounds like the ultimate guide, honestly.
Even if you've been doing this a while.
Totally. It's got everything from the basics to the really advanced techniques, like having a copywriting coach right there with you.
Awesome.
And Nick actually offers a discount on it, so it's super accessible.
Nice. Well, we have covered a ton today, haven't we? I feel like my brain is full of copywriting stuff.
We talked about everything, how to actually write persuasively, how marketing fits in, all that.
But like you said earlier, Knowing stuff is only half of it.
Yeah.
Right? We got to actually do it now.
100%. So everyone listening, time to get writing. Whether it's for your website, blog post, whatever, just start creating.
And be open to learning new things along the way. This copywriting world never sits still, so we can't either.
Exactly. Keep that curiosity going, and who knows what you'll achieve.